a positive perspective on breaking generational curses. Now, we know that a curse is just something that is bad, something that may have been placed on your family through witchcraft, through people just saying ill or negative things towards you. And words is power. What you speak will manifest. So, like, you can talk positivity to yourself, you can also talk negative to yourself, or that also can come from another individual. Generational curses is things that have been passed from generation to generation. And a lot of us deal with generational curses that must be broke, because in order to change the trajectory of our future generations, it's to break the generational curse that most of us face every day. And in the Black community, we have a lot of generational curses. One being financial generational curses, meaning we don't have the foundation, the wealth to pass on to our future generations for them to go through life at a steady and peaceful way, because they already have the finances. And our generations, we don't have that wealth to pass on. So in order for your generation to be the next generation that is successful, we have to change that and start creating wealth for our families. And creating wealth is not as easy, and it's not as hard as many may think it is. You just have to educate yourself. You have to take risk. You have to start businesses. You have to start educating yourself on things that's going to make you money, stable money, that's going to grow, that is something that can impact the world. Because, you know, if you cannot impact the world, if you cannot touch millions of people, then what you're doing is kind of not going to, I don't want to say it's not going to grow, but it grows faster when you are able to impact another individual in a positive way. So we have to start creating wealth. There's no limit of how much wealth you can accumulate in a generation. You have people that have so much wealth that their great grandkids is still living off their wealth. And we come from wealth. But when you have a society where people came in and stole your wealth, stole your education, stole your culture, stole your land, and just erased everything that you stood by and that you lived by, it's going to be hard for you to understand how to grow as a culture, because everything has been stolen from you. I don't want to make that as an excuse anymore. Yes, that did happen, but in today's age, is no reason as to why we're still behind in the wealth gap to other races. So we have to start breaking that generational curse that wealth cannot be passed on from generation to generation. Today starts a new day. Every day starts a new day. We have a new day to start creating wealth for the generations that will come after us. We have to also break the generational curse of not telling our children our stories. And I say that because in our communities, we have so much trauma, so much things that have been swept under the rug in families. We have so much built up frustration, anger, because we have no one to vent to. So we carry this, and we have children, and our children don't know why we act the way that we act. So they're not understanding. They're just thinking that we may don't care. We may not understand what they are going through. We are angry towards them, and it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with what we are already traumatized from. So us releasing and telling our children our stories, it helps them understand where we're coming from, and it helps them understand what not to do. We have to start being open and communicating with the youth. We have to be honest. We have to stop trying to not hurt other people's feelings based on what we went through, or being shameful for the things that we have experienced, because through your experience you will be able to help the next person not go through that experience, or you will be able to help that person get through that experience. So we have to stop as a race, as a generational curse breaker, that we have to start feeling comfortable with sharing our stories with our children, so they can know that I am dealing with my own trauma and my own things that I have to heal from. So if I do come off angry, or if I do come off standoffish, it has nothing to do with you. And I'm not saying make that excuse, because you should not be like that with your kids, but you have to understand that why you're acting like that, and that is because we have so much built up trauma and anger towards people in our family because they did the same thing to us. And we still sometimes don't even understand why we were treated the way we were treated as children. And it's because they went through their own trauma and they did not share with us for us to understand and sympathize with them and give them the grace that they are needed, because they are still healing and they are still human. So break that generational curse of not sharing your story with your children. Another generational curse that we must break is thinking that everyone is in alignment with you. I love black people, but I also know that all black folk ain't kinfolk. So we get into this phase where we want to support everybody, and everyone needs support in some form or fashion. But we give so much to other people that it depletes us as an individual. And you could see back in so many generations back that it was the grandmother that took on everyone's responsibility, because she was that matriarch. She was that person that everyone went to support. And at the end, your grandmother cried. Your grandmother was stressed out. Your grandmother put a smile on her face because she wanted to be that person that everyone can come to. But she was depleted. She needed someone to pour in her cup as much as she was pouring into other people's cups. And that's what people don't understand. We have to stop being there for everyone and start being there for ourselves. Break that generational curse of always being a support system for other people when they don't reciprocate that in return. We want to grow as much as possible, but you have to fill your cup first before you're able to support other people. And black women are the number one people who die from heart disease because of stress, because of always having to give to other people. And I understand that it's nothing wrong with giving, but we give so much. We have the world on our shoulders. And I'm not taking anything from black men. I'm speaking as a black woman. Stress is the number one killer for black women. We hold so much in and we give so much out. So I just want to break that generational curse of us having to take on everything and not give to ourselves, because that causes stress. It causes us to be in defense mode towards men. And I just think that is not conducive to us building as a race as a whole. So break that generational curse of giving to the point where you are losing. Another generational curse I think that we should break is not listening to the youth. Not listening to the youth because you feel as though you're older, you've been here longer, you know more. That is not true. A person that feels as though that they know everything is a fool. You do not know everything, and the youth are coming up in an age where you don't understand. So you need them to enlighten you on things and topics and situations that's happening, so you can be more aware of what's going on and you can be more relatable to them. We have to start listening to our youth. I know growing up, my grandma, she was strict. So certain things, we couldn't do, we couldn't say, we had to say yes ma'am. And I understand that completely. But when it comes to youth stating how they feel or speaking on a topic or a situation, you should not down them or just shush them away because they are younger. Learn to listen to your younger generations, because they have a voice, they have a brain, and they have something they have to say also. So if you want to change and you want respect from the youth, you have to also respect and listen to the youth. Generational curses are a blessing to break, because breaking a curse, the end result is a blessing. And you grow, and you change, and you transform, and the legacy that you are building is going to be more positive, more productive. Break the generational curses, because if we don't continue to move forward and we continue to go by these curses of not understanding, of not caring, of not looking at the mistakes of our ancestors, of our past, of our aunts, of our uncles, of our mothers, and we continue to go into that road of failure, it's the same thing that's going to happen from years on in. We have to change what we know is wrong. Being righteous is very right. It's easier to be negative than to be righteous. It's easier to be negative than righteous. That's why it's not too many people that's in your family line that broke the generational curse, because being negative is normal. Not understanding is normal. Not caring is normal. Not creating wealth is normal. Not exploring higher levels of education is normal. Being judgmental is normal. But building wealth for your family is a curse breaker. Listening to your kids is a curse breaker. Building faithful partnerships between women and men is a curse breaker. Honoring marriage is a curse breaker. Be the person that breaks the curse. I love just looking at people that came from families that was just extremely in poverty, came from narcissistic parents, came from families that did not believe in them. And you take and look at their family that they're raising, and they are completely opposite. That's what I call success of breaking a generational curse. They have good relationships with their kids. They have businesses where their kids are learning after them that this business is going to be around for years, and it's going to take care of their grandkids. It's going to take care of their grandkids. Building wealth, building happiness, building confidence, building self-esteem. That's how you break generational curses. This was a positive perspective on breaking generational curses, to understand why it's important, and to understand the person that breaks the generational curse is normally the black sheep, and many not going to like them. But then who cares? If I'm breaking a curse, of course you're not going to like me, because I'm going against everything that you believed. So don't get complacent on not being like. You're not going to be like. It's okay. You're light. They're dark. Be aware that as a curse breaker, you are going to create something so powerful that when your grandkids talk about you, it's going to be nothing but positivity. Now think about what you can say about your grandmother or your great-grandmother or your great-grandfather. It could be nice, it can be negative. Everyone grow up in different lanes in this world. Everyone is not going through bad situations in their family. And it's everyone not going through good situations in their family. So you have to put yourself in the lane that you are in. So I hope this was informational. I hope this helped you. I hope that you got something for this. And I hope that you understand that creating an abundant life, a life filled with wealth, success, happiness, and joys, start with you breaking the first curse. And once you break the first curse, never stop. Thank you for listening to A Positive Perspective.